Hello. In this short video, we'll talk about how the combination of TIBCO Cloud Integration BusinessWorks and Amazon Web Services will allow you to quickly and easily build cloud-native applications. So before I get started, I want to make sure we're all on the same page of why is application integration so important in a cloud environment. If you think about the various services that any cloud provider provides, what you have is a number of different services, and the value that an organization is going to get from it, the ability for an organization to differentiate itself from its competitors, is how they're going to combine those various services to offer unique experiences for their customers, unique ways to engage with partners and customers. And integration is what fills that need, being able to connect the various services running. If you think about it further, not everything's going to be running inside of the cloud environment, so integration also is critical when you're talking about bringing together other cloud services or other on-premises applications, combining those with the services that you're getting from the cloud provider, and being able to choreograph the interaction between the different capabilities that you have in each of these different environments to allow you to offer that unique perspective or your differentiating offering to the marketplace. So the way applications are developed is evolving. In order to support a cloud environment, there's new approaches taken for application development. So cloud-native applications leverage containers. They're typically building smaller, fine-grained services or microservices. APIs are a core of how these applications are communicating with one another. And also the goal of most of this is to become more agile, to be able to quickly modify the applications that you're using, to be able to respond quickly to market changes. And continuous delivery and DevOps is a critical piece of that. So these are all components that are tightly interwoven to allow organizations to benefit from a cloud environment. So what TIBCO offers is integration technology, but we don't take a one-size-fits-all approach. What we offer is unique experiences tailored for the specific users using the platform. So as part of TIBCO Cloud Integration, we have capabilities that are specifically designed for the business users. Business analysts that may be responsible for running one or more of your SaaS applications. And how do they bring together the data from those different sources with data that might be residing in applications you built on the cloud, or even applications that still reside on premises. And this is our Connect capability, specifically designed for those business analysts. We also have capabilities designed for the developers that are leveraging even more advanced capabilities, like building out IoT types of applications, functions, or even just fine-grained microservices. And we have tooling specifically for the developers that allow them to not only have a graphical way to simplify the development, but they can also get into the details of coding the application from the native language and alike. So it gives them a wide variety of tools that developers would be accustomed to using in that. And the third persona that we target is integration specialists. These are the people that a good part of their day is spent providing the connectivity between different applications. And when you focus on that, there's certain aspects of the tool that you're going to be looking for and things like that. And what I wanted to do in today's video is focus on that particular persona, the integration specialists, and how do they leverage the capabilities. So just real quickly from TIBCO Cloud Integration, the Connect aspects allows the business analysts, the SaaS administrators to quickly and easily connect various cloud sources with either custom applications running within the cloud environment or applications running on-premise. The developers have open source technology, the core open source technology that TIBCO delivers in Project Flogo to enable developers to deliver and create event-driven microservices or functions that allow you to address specific use cases in a modern application development type of approach. And then the third piece is the integration specialists, and that's leveraging the core BusinessWorks capability that TIBCO has had available for a long time. Whether you're an existing TIBCO customer and you've already used BusinessWorks and you were looking to quickly and easily move over your on-premise applications and leverage the benefits of a cloud-native environment, or you're new to TIBCO and you're looking to leverage containerized deployments in an AWS environment, TIBCO Cloud Integration BusinessWorks gives you the tools that you're looking to leverage to do that. Now, the key here on TIBCO Cloud Integration is it's a single platform that addresses all of the needs of integration within an enterprise, but it has tailored experiences for the different users that are looking to use the platform. What's key here too is it provides centralized administration, control, and governance across the entire platform, not just for any particular capability. And the artifacts can be reused across various capabilities. So if you're using one of the capabilities, those same applications or integration flows that are created by one of the personas can be leveraged by the other personas as well within inside of the environment that they're comfortable with. So it's basically a platform that offers you the ability to address any use case when it comes to integrating various sources, whether it's within the cloud, other SaaS providers, or on-premise resources, and it gives you that from a cohesive platform. So to dive into a little bit more details about the TCI BusinessWorks, what happens is we provide a graphical experience that allows the user to quickly and easily choreograph the interaction between various APIs or microservices. The key here is the individual that's using the platform does not necessarily have to worry about the various requirements to make an application cloud native. There's some industry best practices around 12-factor guidelines of making cloud native applications. The platform will handle all of those behind the scenes. You use the graphical interface to choreograph the flow of your application, and you have different palettes that allow you to quickly and easily connect to other applications or other data sources, other technologies. And behind the scenes, the application's worrying about all of those capabilities, requirements that you need to consider for creating a cloud-native application. And what this allows you to do is focus on the business logic and not necessarily have to worry about the nuances of running in a cloud environment and all that. So it significantly improves the time to market for your applications. The benefit here too is you have the ability to run the applications you create in any cloud environment. So you have portability between environments. We also have customers that leverage this for a multi-cloud strategy, and it allows you to deploy that application to an AWS environment, but you might also want, for one reason or another, to also run part of that workload in another cloud environment, and it gives you those capabilities as well. The key to the environment and what allows BusinessWorks to really offer the quickest time to market is the true zero-code integration tools. There are other tools that talk about offering this same graphical experience, but when you start digging into the details, there will be requirements at time to start doing customized scripts and things like that. This is true 100% zero coding. If you are comfortable with Java or other programming languages, you do have the ability to get into that and bring your own code into the environment. However, you're not required to, and that's a key part. Also, as part of the Eclipse design environment, what we have is a visual process for debugging your application. So you can go into a debugging mode and you'll see the flow of the application. If there's any errors within that, you can quickly and easily identify where the errors are, correct those errors, and then redeploy the application. So it's very easy to get up and running within the environment and build your applications quickly. So the other aspect to BusinessWorks that allows organizations to be very quick in time to market is the tools that we have around automation of testing and also automating the entire DevOps process. So we have out-of-the-box capabilities around unit testing. We have plugins that support a lot of the common continuous integration tooling. So tools like, Maven and SonarQube and a whole bunch of other applications, you have plugins out of the box that allow you to benefit from those particular tools. We also leverage the AWS ecosystem to automatically deploy, manage, monitor, log, and scale the applications. And I'm going to talk about that in more detail in a moment. But as we can see, much of what we're doing is really focusing on how quickly you can develop these applications and bring them to market. So microservices requires a lot more than just deploying your applications to a container. To be successful, you're going to have to leverage things like configuration management. So as that application moves between environments, whether it's from development to test into production, or even when it's in production in a cloud environment, you might be moving around and you're not sure where that application is going to be running. What you can do is you can manage the configuration to automatically pick up environment information for that service. You also have service registry and discovery requirements where you need to understand what services are available, where they're located, how you can access them. Also, there's requirements around not necessarily providing a cascading effect if errors do occur. So there's something called circuit breaker patterns that basically works much like a circuit breaker in your house, where if it detects that there's a problem, the breaker will pop and it will then stop that cascading effect. It won't keep on doing calls and waiting for the service to respond until that service comes back up, and then the breaker will be opened up again and the traffic can flow to that environment. Now, a lot of this might sound daunting or more complicated for the people that are just getting started, but what BusinessWorks does is it provides these capabilities to the developer, but hides the complexity of it. So that same graphical environment that you're able to then build this workflow, you're able to do these same capabilities within that environment without necessarily having to get into the details of it. So it lowers the barrier to entry as people are starting to adopt these new architectural styles like microservices, and it simplifies things there. What happens too is the applications that you build natively leverage the tooling of the platform that you're running on. So the monitoring, the logging, the management, and all of that. One of the keys is how closely we work with AWS and the AWS ecosystem in building out that application. So that's really where I want to shift the remainder of the conversation, is what we do specifically in the AWS ecosystem. So once you build your BusinessWorks application, you then have the choice of what container service in Amazon you want to leverage. So whether you want to leverage ECS or EKS or even the AWS Fargate, you're able to use that same application and deploy it anywhere. So we'll get into a little bit more details on how we do that and how we simplify the ability for you to do that. But the key here is it gives you the choice of where you're going to run that and how you're going to leverage this inside of an AWS environment. So as part of what we offer with AWS, TIBCO Cloud Integration BusinessWorks is available on the AWS Marketplace. So there's a number of different benefits you get from that. First of all, what you get is true elastic pricing. What you're charged for is only the consumption that you use, and it's billed on an hourly basis. So if you need to do, elastic scaling, you don't necessarily have to purchase application compute to handle your peak volumes, but you can purchase for average workloads. And then as you need to scale for those particular, spikes, for a retailer on Black Friday or other industries, and when they have their peaks, what they can do is they can dynamically scale and run the environment with inside of AWS, leveraging the elastic pricing we have, and then you only pay for that additional compute when you need it, if you need it, and not necessarily up front. This is unique. It's unique in a number of different ways. One, the dynamic pricing and the elastic pricing, there's no other integration vendor that's offering that. But in addition, the availability on Marketplace, where you can dynamically do that scaling as part of your AWS contract, and you don't necessarily have to get TIBCO involved in that process at all. Now, to simplify the adoption on the AWS environment, what we offer is CloudFormation templates. And if you're familiar with CloudFormation templates, it's basically a template that defines exactly how the service is going to run and how you want to build out the environment, including supporting services and things like that. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but these templates allow you to get up and running with some sophisticated configurations, without any headache on your end. You can basically be up and running very quickly. And the key is what we do with these CloudFormation templates is leverage all of the capabilities of the AWS ecosystem. So you can have a highly available, highly scalable, cloud-native deployment with very little effort on your part. So let me get into a little bit more detail. When you go to the marketplace and you are choosing to deploy the BusinessWorks technology, you have a number of different deployment options available to you. So as you're first getting started and all of that, you can choose to deploy a single AMI. And what will happen is you have a single instance of the application running. But once you're starting to go into production, what you may want to do is set it up as an ECS cluster. So the CloudFormation template will basically walk you through a number of questions about the environment, how many machines you want within that environment, and all of that. And then you spin up the environment with, after answering and walking through a wizard-based type of process, you have the robust environment set up. So you're able to quickly and easily scale up, have a highly available environment, and all of that. There's also what we refer to as our extended Docker image. And this is a CloudFormation template, but what it does is it allows you to customize what you're running within the environment, allows you to add different plugins and all of that. So it gives you the capability to customize for your specific need within your environment. And you go in there and you make changes to the template for your specific needs, and then you're up and running. And that's the other option that you have available as part of the deployment via the marketplace. So just real quickly, and I'm not going to get into too much detail here because this is a high-level overview, but basically the CloudFormation template, as I mentioned, sets up a highly available environment that will leverage basically virtual private connections to allow you to have your instances running in multiple environments. So as part of this, what we do is we install it in a multiple availability zones. The transactions will be routed between the different zones automatically, leveraging the load balancer. What we also have is all of the network infrastructure, all of that put together to put that in place. And what it allows you to do is create and push your applications, and you get this, the capabilities of what AWS provides without you having to go through the complexity of setting all of that up and everything. Now, a key part of allowing our customers to be successful is the availability of a quick start guide to allow you to understand how to do all of this. So I know I went through it fairly quickly, but the quick start guide will allow you to understand exactly how you go about doing each one of these steps and how you set up the different necessary components to achieve exactly what you want, and whether it's using the standard CloudFormation template or customizing it for your needs. So a good place to start when you're looking at leveraging this technology is access this quick start guide. It's available on the AWS website, and it'll walk you through everything you need to know about doing this. So just quickly before wrapping up, I wanted to cover a few quick things. I briefly went over why is integration important, but the use cases of where we see people leveraging the BusinessWorks technology on the marketplace is basically creating integration applications and services, basically exposing new RESTful services out of backend services that may be, leveraging SOAP or third-party applications. So, exposing capabilities around your SAP environment, your Oracle environment, whatever technology you're using. And what we do is we offer a very extensive set of connectors that allows you to quickly bring in those third-party applications without you to learn specific, APIs and interfaces for those backend systems. So you can expose these now as services that will allow you to easily access them for other capabilities and all that. So it allows you to bring some of these legacy applications into this modern architecture without having to rewrite or re-architect those existing services. What it also does is allows you to build microservices. So what you can do is you can focus on the logic of your application without having to get into the coding complexities of all the different requirements I spoke about earlier around the configuration management, service registry discovery, circuit breaker patterns. It simplifies the development of native applications you're building with this environment. So it's just not helping you leverage the existing resources. The other thing, and a key aspect here, is the choreographing of multiple APIs. When you start creating finer grained services in terms of microservices, you're going to have to put together the flow of how these services work. And that's a key aspect of what you're able to do here. You're able to graphically compose the interaction between the different services, choreograph how they're going to work together, and do that very quickly and easily within inside of the graphical design environment. So with that, I will wrap it up. Before I wrap it up, I wanted to just quickly, again, go over as far as getting started. Best thing to do is to go out and access the Quick Start Guide available on the AWS website. That'll give you the step-by-step instructions on how to get going. Engage with us on the community. We have a TIBCO community that has a lot of good how-to videos, not only how to get started running on AWS, but it'll give you details of how you can leverage the CloudFormation templates, how you can leverage and deploy within EKS, how you can leverage Fargate, a whole bunch of different videos on getting up and running in an AWS ecosystem. And also, we have a team of experts that's here to make sure that you're successful. So if you have any questions, you need any help, anything like that, feel free to reach out to TIBCO, and we'd be more than happy to get our subject matter experts involved to make sure that you're successful in leveraging a combination of AWS and TIBCO BusinessWorks. Thank you very much for your time today, and I hope you found the video helpful.